Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a quick little gear review for you. So if you watched my last video, you know that I recently acquired some body armor. Now I'm trying to build that out incrementally. And the first thing that I've purchased are some magazine pouches for my AR. Now these are two separate 3 magazine pouches from Condor. And the reason I went with the 2 separate pouches rather than a 6 magazine double stacked pouch is I really don't like the idea of how far out from my body a 6 magazine pouch would extend. Now looking at the package of these, we can see that they were made in China. So if made in the USA is important to you, you can cross these off of your list. I personally would prefer made in the USA, but it is kind of amusing that communist China is providing the means to resist communism. Anyway, what's even more amusing is if you look on the tag on the back, it says designed in California. And I guess they think that's a good thing, but I mean, to me, that's almost as bad as made in China. Anyway, there it is. That's a open top 3 magazine pouch from Condor. They seem to be pretty sturdy. The material's nice and thick. Again, they're open top, so they have bungees for retention. They're multi-cam. Now, just looking a little closer at these, at the detail, it's kind of, it's almost funny. The stitching looks like, I don't know, the person was drunk or something. So I don't know if you can see, like this stitching right here is curved, and it's just, this looks like a big old mess up here. It's just kind of ugly, to be honest with you. And like the edges aren't, they don't line up very well, consistently, evenly. Yeah, so not too impressed with the quality control of Condor products. On the back there's 2 MOLLE straps for each of the magazines, and they snap at the bottom. The straps are double thickness, so they're nice and stiff. Hopefully that'll keep the pouches from flopping around, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, other than the crappy stitching, I guess the quality's fine. Like I said, I don't think they'll fall apart, and they should be serviceable. Let's see how a magazine fits. So I've got a P-mag here, and yeah, it just slips right in there, no problem. It's a fairly loose fit, so you definitely want to use the bungees for retention. And let's make sure that that works. Yep. So the bungee is pretty snug. The magazine's definitely not coming out with the bungee on there. So that should be completely serviceable. All right, so not much to review here. Pretty simple design. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on my armor, and I'll let you take a look at what that looks like. I won't bother you by filming it. So I'll be back in a little bit once I have them on there. Now I will say, you know, typically what you see, or what I've seen, is the people running the 6 magazine pouches, they put them in the center on the cummerbund. And when I look at that, to me, I just don't see how I could comfortably get into the prone position and shoot like that. So I think what I'm going to try is to put these one on either side of the cummerbund. So yeah, I'll be right back and we can take a look at, see what that looks like. All right, so I've got them on here, and I think that positioning is going to be a no-go. So as I mentioned, when I got my armor, I've never had this kind of equipment before. So when I was in the Army, we had the old school LBE suspenders and pistol belt. So I'm kind of learning as I go here. And what I can see from the way these are mounted on here right now, I can get to the inside magazines just fine from either side. I can even get to the second one back from either side. However, the two that are furthest back, I can just barely reach them. And I probably couldn't get them out anyway, because if you look, they're actually underneath my arm. And there's not a lot of room to pull them up out of there. So this is probably not going to work from a practicality standpoint. From a comfort standpoint, those back magazines are also pressing into the inside of my bicep, and that sucks. Can't imagine having to wear this all day like that. So I'm going to have to try something else. This is clearly not going to work. If I had just double magazine pouches, this probably would have been fine, but then I would have only had 4 magazines. So yep, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and try something else out. I will say that putting these on was kind of a pain in the butt. So that double thickness of the MOLLE strap made it really pretty difficult to weave through the MOLLE webbing on the load-bearing vest. Particularly where the side plates are, it was really difficult to get them through those loops because they're so tensioned against the side plate. But I got them on. I wove 5 out of the 6 straps. This one strap right here, the second one on the forward magazine, I left that one out so that it could angle over from the side plate just down to the regular thickness of the cummerbund. So yeah, they go on okay. They're a little tricky to get on, but once they're on there, I mean, they're definitely stable. They're not going anywhere. Although I think I just heard one of the snaps unsnap. But this positioning's all wrong. It's not going to work. So, like I said, back to the drawing board, and I'll be right back when I get a new configuration. Okay, so I went ahead and moved them down. Just one row of MOLLE webbing, I moved them down. And it's significantly better. It's amazing what a difference just that little inch or two made in the comfort, as well as the accessibility to the magazines. They're still digging into my arms a little bit, but it's not horrible. So you can take a look there. Like I said, I can get to those back magazines and I can pull them out. It's not going to be a speed reload, but they are accessible. I will say that putting them back in is almost impossible. So that kind of sucks. But you know, if it keeps the front slick so where I can get in a prone position, I think I like it. Now I will say, I suspect I'm going to run into trouble once I start building my battle belt, because they stick out so far on the right side. If I have just a holster that's even with my belt, there's no way I could draw. I would be hitting the bottom of the magazines for sure. Now if I had a drop leg, maybe that'll be all right. I don't know until I get that put together. I won't know for sure. I will also say that if you weren't running side plates, these wouldn't stick out nearly so far. You know, those plates are probably, they're only about between 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. But because they're flat, they really cause the magazines to stick far out from your body. So it's a little bit of an issue. If I didn't have the side plates there, it wouldn't be as bad. Now, a little pro tip for you, not that I'm a pro. When you're figuring out your placement on these, don't weave all of the webbing, because I can tell you when I had to move them, undoing all 10 of those straps and then trying to redo them again was it's just a pain in the butt. So just do like the end ones, figure out where you want them, and then go in there and weave everything else. The way it is right now, like I said, if I have issues with my handgun, I'll probably have to move this, the right side pouches to the center. And if I have to do that, I have to do that. It just is what it is. But for now, I think this is how I'm going to leave it until I actually get a battle belt put together, and then I can actually go out and do some work in the gear and figure out what it feels like. The pouches themselves, like I said, you know, they're not the highest quality. The stitching's kind of crazy on them. The coloration of them, they almost seem a little bit darker than some of my other multicam stuff, but I may just be imagining that. But they are serviceable and secure. The magazines are not going to come out of there for sure, as long as the bungees are done up. Yeah, so that's it. The next video I'll probably talk about my IFAK, which I suspect will go on my left side behind these magazines over here. But that's what I'll do in my next video. So thanks again for watching. Quick little video on the Condor 3 magazine pouches. Have a great day.